You remember when you were younger and your parents did something to you, and it was just like, I cannot wait until I get older and I can move out and I can be an adult and do what I want and just not live here anymore. But now the time has come and you don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. Personally, I don't want to be an adult anymore. I'm at that point, and I'm about to graduate college. I just got my own car. I'm paying my own bills. I pay my car note. I'm paying my insurance. And it's like this is the first step into adulthood, as my mom will say it. But to someone else, I may not be an adult. To another person, I may be all the way an adult. Being an adult, for most young people, it depends on their mindset. It depends on how they see it. Now, today, I'll talk to you guys about the reality of actually transitioning into an adult. Now, first off, many people have their own distinct definition of being an adult, like I said earlier. To a young person, they base it on age, 9 times out of 10. You're 18, or you're 21, or you're 23. You're an adult. Point blank, period. You can do whatever you want. Now, to some, it depends on how many responsibilities you have, whether or not you're paying your own bills, you're paying your own car note. And then to some, whether or not you have a family, whether or not you're married and have a baby, and you're taking on those responsibilities. Now, with a research study done, they determined that most people say, well, mainly most college graduates, they say punching a time card and having a place to stay does not just make you an adult. It's how you balance it. It's how mature you are to handle it. And it's true. It's how you handle being an adult that, to some people, that's what makes you an adult. And however, those few responsibilities, they don't make a person adult unless that person takes them seriously. When thinking of the definition of an adult, there are certain circumstances that can make a person question whether or not they're an adult. And the main one would be a recent college graduate went back to school to get their master's and is living at home with their parents. Most people would not see them as adult. Most people would, because they're of age. They're probably making their own money. They're paying their own bills. But at the same time, they're leaning on their mother. They're leaning on their parents for the roof over their head. And to that college student, they're probably questioning whether or not they're an adult also. And research has shown that they are now calling that emerging adulthood. Emerging adulthood is not all it's cracked up to be either. It's probably no better than being an adult. It has its challenges as well. For college seniors, they're especially prone to the stressors of emerging adulthood because they are beginning to make that transition from education to employment. They are beginning to put what they've learned in the classroom to the real world. And now, with facing emerging adulthood, young adults face a lot of unsure feelings and challenges. First off, they face the challenge of actually going out and putting what they learned into action and getting a job to start their career. Most degrees and most degree fields, they're very competitive. So there's no for sure thing that you're going to go out after graduation and you're going to have a for sure end job, because each field is so competitive. And now for some, they go out, they get their job, and it's not as great and as hopeful and as prosperous as they hoped it'd be. Being able to identify, then there's being able to identify your development, which is a very important part of college experiences. You move out, you go to college 9 months at a time, and you're on your own. You're beginning to build that identity development on how it is to actually be on your own, to pay your own bills, for those who are still who are getting jobs and paying their own bills and paying their tuition. Research shows that college students, especially those who have arrived at adulthood, have a better sense of their overall identity, and they have a better understanding of their romantic partner, and they have lower levels of depression, probably because they've been in it for a while and they've learned how to balance those feelings. Now, when thinking of what makes a person an adult, considering all the circumstances in your life could better give you an understanding of when you should know when you have become an adult. In the end, depending on your situations in life, how you define yourself as an adult is always personal. Your definition is not going to be the same as his, and his is not going to be the same as hers. However, you define being an adult. It can be by age, it can be by responsibility, it can be by maturity. It's personal. Depending on your circumstances after college, it can also determine whether or not you're an adult. Still, it's still personal. Living at home with your parents while in grad school does not completely take away your title as an adult, but it considers you as an emerging adult. And when the time comes, adulthood can take a toll on you personally, emotionally, physically, and mentally. Whether you're finding a job in your career field or you are beginning to finally identify yourself as an adult.